This is Jillian G, and you are listening to the Black Synergy Podcast, where we are stronger together. Welcome to the Black Synergy Podcast. On this two-part debut episode, I interviewed Mercedes Edney of Exora Botanical Beauty, a skincare company. Mercedes and I spoke at length about the origins of Exora and her journey as a small business owner. Enjoy the show. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Black Synergy Podcast. Our guest today is Mercedes Edney of Exora Botanical Beauty. Welcome, Mercedes. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing great today.
Thanks for coming on the show. So tell me about Exora and what do you do?
Okay, well, Exora Botanical Beauty is my baby. It's a natural skincare company, soon to be more of a fusion of natural skincare and a little chemistry on the side, because I'm going to be doing some new things for the new year. But it started off as solely a natural skincare company that I started 5 years ago. And the reason being for starting it was because I've always wanted to work in skincare. And when I got out of college and I didn't get into the positions that I wanted, and it kind of just came full circle about maybe 5 years after I graduated from college to start my own. So I basically just, started doing the research, and I started looking around and seeing things that would help my skin, because that's really where it started. I started looking for things to help my skin, and then I went from there. So, fast forward 5 years later, I have a host of products, everything from body butters, scrubs, lotions, creams, hair products, lip balms. What else do I have? And soon I'll be having more facial products. I have soaps. I have products for men. It's just really a smorgasbord, really, of products.
Okay. And where did the name Exora come from?
That's funny. Exora is actually a flower that's very prevalent back home. It's a gorgeous flower. It actually comes in different colors. The most prevalent color is like the red color that you see in my logo. That's what that is. The O in my logo is actually the flower, the Exora flower.
Okay, and you mentioned home. Where is home for you?
I am born and raised from St. Croix, United States Virgin Islands.
Really? Okay. Mm-hmm. So when you wanted to start Exora, did you have another job when you started? Because I know a lot of people, small business owners and entrepreneurs, sometimes, their business is their side hustle and they have, a day job, a steady, a job where there's a steady income coming in. Was that the same case for you?
Well, funny enough, when the idea came along of me starting the Exora, which is another story in of itself, because I was actually living back home. I was home for like a year and a half. And in around April of 2011, I was home and I was working. I was working for, I was as a quality control tech at a company back home. And I was literally just talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking about skincare stuff. And she kind of like brought up the idea about natural skin. Like, she was not even that, she was just talking about like body butters and shea butter and stuff. And that's really like where it kind of clicked with me. And at the time, I literally spent the remainder of 2011 from April all the way for the whole 8 months doing research. Mind you, I had another job, and the job was actually temporary, and it just kind of worked out that when I finally got laid off from that job, this within a week of me getting laid off from that job, I had just started Exora. I had just launched it. So it was like a smooth transition from me, being laid off to me starting Exora, and that's what I basically did until I moved back to the States.
Okay, all right. So what kind of roadblocks did you face, as, starting your own company?
Well, first thing was the fact that I was home. The issue with that is although we're a territory of the United States, oftentimes companies don't treat us as such. So a lot of companies don't ship there, or if they do, it's very expensive, or if they don't use the postal service or whatever, basically it would be too expensive to ship. So that was one of my first issues, that some of the vendors that I wanted to use, I couldn't use at the time because they use UPS and the cost to ship the stuff home was too expensive. And then I was living in a very tropical environment with no AC. And the shea butter that I elected to use, of course, which is the Nilotica shea butter, is what I use for my product with shea butter in it. It's very like heat sensitive. Like it melts to the touch. So it would melt. So I had all kinds of issues with trying to keep the products. I would have to put them in the freezer until it was time to ship. Like, it was just a lot of, like, shipping issues and stuff like that, trying to find the right jars and just things that would, make it easier for me to ship. And a lot of those issues kind of went away after I moved back up to the States, because I was able to like find, actually use the companies that I wanted to use after I moved, because then I could use UPS. But that was more like my biggest issue, of just like finding vendors at the time when I was home to make this happen.
Okay, so what is your educational background? Did you kind of always, dabble in this, or, what's the story there?
Well, when I was in high school, my chemistry teacher really made me get, like, what's the best word? He sprouted my love for chemistry. I mean, I was obsessed with chemistry as a kid, like in high school. And by then I had decided I wanted to go to school for chemical engineering. And I could have opted for chemistry, but I figured, why not do the engineering part? Because I wanted to be able to learn not just about chemistry, but also about, how things work in plant settings and stuff like that, learning about reactors and those type of things. So I graduated from college with a chemical engineering degree, and then I also have a master's degree in occupational health and safety, which kind of makes sense because of the environments that I normally work in, whether it's a plant setting or a lab setting or whatever else. Occupational health and safety always comes into play. Learning about OSHA and the EPA and all those different types of regulations, all of those come into play in my field. So, but like I was saying earlier, my goal originally when I was in college was I always wanted to work in skincare. Not necessarily natural skincare. I wanted to do research and development at Johnson & Johnson. That was like my first like goal. And then I discovered while I was in college that Johnson & Johnson mainly they had their select colleges that they would basically hire from. And our school wasn't one of them. So I just didn't really see how I could get in to, their company. So I kind of just like, the whole skincare thing for me kind of like got left on the side, I was just more interested in finding a job at that point when I got out of college. That's why I said it came full circle when I 5 years later, when I was home and that conversation came up, and it was just like, oh wow, I could probably do this instead. So that's really how it came about.
Okay, and I really think that's awesome because, and especially hearing about how, you had a passion for chemistry even in high school, because, one of the things that I find interesting is, some people say that, well, I'll never use this ever, I won't use trigonometry or algebra
right.
or chemistry, but you actually did that and you followed through on that, which I think is really, really awesome. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you. I only wished I had known about cosmetic chemistry when I was in college. I think I would have went for that. Okay. I would have definitely gotten I would have went and found a school to do my master's in cosmetic chemistry if I had really known, if I had known what I know now, then I would have went for cosmetic chemistry.
Hindsight is always 20/20, right?
Always.
Okay, so One of the things that, that I really love about your products, and I am an avid user of all of your products, is that, you're very innovative. Okay. And you mentioned a lot of your products. Tell us about some of your most popular products and some of the newest things that you've been working on.
When I first started out, I think three of my most popular products was the Ash Today butter, the Jumbo Combo butter, and my Kiss by the Sun um, scrub. And over time, then it became the Jumbo Combo butter and the Kiss by the Sun scrub. And then it turned into um, the Mambiju scrub became the next like popping thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I got really like, a lot of attention. And even now to this day, like it's probably like my highest selling scrub right now. And I think over time, what else another pop? Then my custard, the Palanoid Steel Body Custard, when people started buying it and they started feeling the texture of it, like that really locked people in. And because it was water based as well, and the reason that was my first water based product. And the reason why I started dealing with water based was because I started recognizing the importance of layering your skin, especially with somebody like me who has dry skin. I used to keep in mind, my business is a learn as you go thing for me as well. So even when you see me start doing certain things, know that I've spent weeks or months before I brought it out. If it's completely new, I've spent weeks minimum researching it before I even brought it out. And during the time of me just having oil-based products, and of course I would use my own products, but I was discovering that when I would use my butter, that I would have to use like a lotion first and then put the butter on. So then of course in my head I'm thinking, well, hell, if I gotta make a lotion or whatever to put on before I put my butter on, why don't I just make my own? So I started doing research on creams and water-based, emulsions and stuff like that. That's how that custard came about. And then I started doing the same thing because, like I always tell people, like the same thing you do for your body, you should do for your face, you should do for your hair, etc. It might be a little different with the products, but the process should still be somewhat the same. So I knew that my hair was dry and I knew my body was dry. So I was like, if I'm gonna have, a product that I have water-based, that I wanted to have a water-based hair product as well, which I made, I believe, late last year. I released that. And then then last year, last October time, I believe, in the fall time, I got heavy into goat milk products because by then I had brought out my soaps, which have another thing that has really been selling on my site, my spa bars, which are activated charcoal on one side, and then they have like natural clays on the other side, and they are fantastic. Like I only use that on my face. Outside of when I use my oil cleanser, that's the only thing I use on my face right now. And those sell a lot. And so when I had people was loving, my oatmeal soaps or whatever. And again, that's something else I made because of my eczema problems. I had a really bad eczema outbreak last year, actually 2 years ago. And it came back again with a vengeance last spring. And I had it. I was like, okay, what are you doing? Like, why haven't you come up with something? I was buying stuff, topical stuff from the stores, and I was looking at of course, like I always do, I was looking at their ingredients to see, like what are they buying? I keep seeing colloidal opiate. I'm like, let me look up what that is, because I'm like, that can't. It sounds so fancy, and it's so not. Like when I finally looked it up, and I was like, oh, okay, I can use this, and then I started doing more research into oils and stuff that helps with eczema. And that's how the body cream came about. And I did the soap with goat milk, a goat milk based soap, and the bat soap. And so for me, a lot of my popular products really came about because of some kind of skin issue that I had. And I was like, why am I going to keep paying, other people or companies, giving them their money to use their products if I can make my own? It doesn't, this is what I do. This is what I love to do. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to figure it out. And it took me a month or two before I released those products last year. And I cannot, them oatmeal bars sell so fast. Like, I've had to buy more molds to do soaps with because they go that quickly.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're amazing. Like, that's what I'm using in the shower right now. Like, they're really great and they really moisturize your skin. Like, you can feel it. And that's a great thing about goat milk. Like, goat milk, which is why I made the lotion, because in the wintertime, goat milk is so moisturizing and it naturally produces lactic acid, which also helps people with eczema. That I decided, I'm going to just make this lotion, so when you get out the shower, and I had never made a lotion before, but I was like, it can't be that hard. If I can do the cream emulsions, I should be able to do a lotion emulsion. So, I did my research again and I figured it out and saw what I needed to do, and from what I saw online, I tweaked a formula for me and how I wanted to do it, and I went from there. So that's how that product came about, and people love it too. People buy it by like 16 ounces. Like, it's great. Like, my boyfriend loves that damn lotion. He keeps stealing it from me. I'm gonna just put a whole section of products just for him, so he can stop swiping mine, because that's what he uses as well. So like I said, a lot of these products came about from me needing stuff for my skin, and I just produced it, and I went and I did the work, and I made the product. So yeah, it started from, like, the popular product started from the original Ash Today and the Jumbo Combo, and right now, I'll say my most popular product is, oh man, it can either be the Oats Galore soaps or the Mambi Juice scrub. That's a hard one. I ain't too sure. I think those two are pretty high up there.
Okay. Now, you mentioned your boyfriend, using your products. I know back a couple of months ago, you launched a campaign, regarding men's skincare, because a lot of men, don't take care of their skin, or kind of, either lazy about it or just don't have a regimen at all. So talk a little bit about what you have available for men.
Well, here's the thing with men. Last June, which is actually Men's Health Month, on top of it being, Father's Day or whatever else, June is Men's Health Month. So I dedicated the entire month to men. I posted nothing but, health tips, skincare tips, all kinds of information for men about their skin, because men really most of them do not take care of their skin properly. They don't even want to moisturize. It's ridiculous. Like, down to my brother, I used to have to lotion my brother's skin myself because he was just so fine being ashy, and I was like, I can't take this. Like, I can't deal with this. So, what I did last year was I released a soap for the men, which actually has an exfoliator in it, and the soap is half and half. Half of it is it has exfoliator in it, and the other half has Fuller's Earth Clay, so it's a detoxifier as well. So it's like a 3-in-1 soap. I try to make it as easy as possible.
Right.
And then I developed the men's beard cream and beard soap. And the reason why I did that was, as well, the beard cream, I made it a cream because, again, Black folks, we have, and most of us have, like, a coarse type hair. And the reason why our hair is coarse like that is because when the hair grows out of our scalp, it grows in a very, very tight, circle. So that means that when the sebum comes out of our scalp, it doesn't travel down our hair shaft the way how, like, say, people with straighter hair does. So we have a tendency to have drier hair because of it. So we can't just get by on just wetting our hair and that being it. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, the reason that's why I did a cream instead of just a butter, because I realized like a lot of men are putting this butter on their hair, then the hair looks on their beard, the beard looks shiny, but their hair is still coarse and it's still tangling up because all you're doing is you're resting this oil on top of dry hair, and you're not really moisturizing your hair. You're actually just making it look shiny.
Mm.
So I was like, instead of me doing butter, I'm going to do a cream, because with the water in it, the water will actually attach to your cuticle, your hair, and then it'll be sealed in with the butter that's inside of it as well. And that way you get a better moisturizing, you get a more intense moisturizing. It makes the hair easier to deal with, more easier to detangle. And then I put like tea tree oil in it to, as a antimicrobial factor. And I did the same in the soap. And the soap has bentonite clay in it, because I want your hair to be clean and detoxified, and then be able to moisturize it. So I did that, and because I wanted to, and I brought out the hemp and sea salt scrub, which is a little more vigorous scrub for men, but it also moisturizes because it has in hemp seed butter in it as well. So yeah, I brought out like a host of products that June, and I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna do it again come June. I'm gonna have another group of products for men. And I'm gonna do the whole men's health thing again. And I think I'm just keep it like a staple every June for men, because they need to know. They need to know that that there's products out there for them to use. They need to know that they need to take better care of their skin. They need to take better care of their health, internally and externally. And that's really my goal for this year as well.
And that's really awesome. And let me, be a testimony, because I actually gifted the soap and the cream to my boyfriend, and he absolutely loves it. And let me tell you guys, it smells amazing. And he loves the other products as well. The Distinguished Gentleman Butter, that's another staple for him. And the scents that you come up with are just amazing. So like, how do you, without giving up any of your secrets, where and how do you come up with the ideas for these scents?
Well, here's the thing. Scent has always been my weak spot. I have never been, which is funny, I've never been good at the scent thing. And from the beginning, I've always let my customers be the ones to choose, what new scents they wanted me to come up with. So when it came to the men's scents now, and I was looking around, and I went on one of my favorite sites looking for scents, and they had like some really awesome men's scents. And when I read like their, the scent description of them, I was like, oh my God, these sound amazing. So I decided to take the chance. I said, I ordered 4 of them to start. And that was the first 4 that I started with. And like the tobacco and bay leaf scent was like an instant hit. I mean, it smells amazing.
Mm.
Like, it is tobacco and bay leaf, the ginger patchouli, the dragon's blood. Like, I can literally sit and sniff a man with that on all day. Like, I love that. And the ginger patchouli, I was late on that, even though I had the scent. But I was late, and I think I was scenting a cream for one of my friends, and he came to pick it up, and I happened to smell. I was like, oh my God, this smells amazing. So it's just like, I try to, when it comes especially to the men, I try to pick like some real funky type scents. Not funky in that way, but like different type scents, but scents that I think that they would still like. So I try to keep stuff with like citrus, and tobacco seems to be like a real prevalent scent as well. So I try and think about things that I've seen men say in the past, that like the type of top notes and stuff that they seem to like, and I looked for those in those fragrances, and I just kind of like went with those, and it's been a really good response with them. I can say that.
Okay, that's good. And not even just the men's, all of your other scents are, amazing as well. And another thing that I love is that you allow the customer to mix scents. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I do frequently. So, that's amazing. And, as far as innovation, are you going to come out with the edible body butter? Y'all, she has an
I
edible body
will.
butter. That is amazing.
It's so funny that you mentioned that because I've literally been like prepping, like planning out like my Valentine's Day gift box. So I'll after my birthday I'll be releasing the chocolate fantasy butter, which is the edible butter that you're talking about. And I had a vote on because I have some scents that's specific for Valentine's Day or for the month of February period. And I had a vote on which 2 cents because I'm gonna make two. It's two right now, but I might do three. I'm not sure yet, but I'm gonna do at least two new soaps for Valentine's Day, and they're going to be amazing. But
Okay.
I wanted to I wanted to let everybody pick what scents that they would want. Um, those two. So I gave them four options, and they picked two. And the 2 cents that they picked was "Lick Me All Over" and "Lucky in Love." Are those the names?
Listen, and I actually voted for Lucky in Love. I love that. That sounded, so amazing.
And I thought it was a perfect name for Valentine's Day. And I'm definitely I'm doing the finishing touches on deciding what I was gonna put in the Valentine's Day box. It's probably gonna be two of them, two different ones that you can pick from, and they're gonna have like the two different soaps. One I'm gonna have one soap, and the other I'm gonna have the other soap. And I'm trying to do a soap, a bath bomb, a bubble bar, and I believe, of course, the fantasy butter, and a massage oil.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of like what I'm going right now. But the different types of stuff, it'll have different stuff in each one. But that's gonna be like the gist of what I'm gonna do this time for the Valentine. Because I always said last year it was cool, but this year I was like I'm gonna put a little bit more thought into these boxes this year. And because I really like the concept, I had fun doing it for Christmas, and so that's what I'm gonna be doing. So that's gonna be really fun.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, you're gonna be looking out for that. Within the next 2 weeks, you'll see me start posting it online when I have everything. Because I'm actually about to make the order for all this stuff. Because it's I have to order so much things for these new soaps. Because they're gonna be I'm gonna be ridiculous about it. You about to see some fancy old soap. You ain't about to see no like regular soap. The soap is going to be indicative of Valentine's Day. I promise you that.
Okay, okay. So
So yeah, it's going to be great.
looks like you have a busy couple of weeks ahead of
Oh
you.
yes, not to mention also when I'm done here, I have at least 40 orders to do when I'm done here.
And listen,
So
I will say that my order is one of them. I did just place an order. Okay, so listen, so guys, when you're listening to this, I'm not just interviewing her. I am a customer, and I've been a customer since I want to say like 2013, I think.
yeah, I've known when you emailed me, like I knew who you were because I know your name. I know you've been ordering for me for a very long time.
Yes. So I am definitely a fan. That concludes part one of my interview with Mercedes Edney of Izora Botanical Beauty. Check out the show notes at blacksynergypodcast.com/Izora to learn more. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe and leave a review on iTunes. And don't forget to follow the show on social media at Black Synergy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for listening.